Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Chris and welcome to the channel. If you're new around here and you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my uploads. I will be posting regular content on all things guitar related, so if that sounds good, hit subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified when I upload. So today I want to share 2 tips that are just going to immediately make your guitar solos and any lead guitar work you do sound a million times better. Whether you're a beginner, an intermediate player, or even if you're pretty advanced, I still think that this fundamental approach is definitely something that we can all be working on. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a technique that is really important. It can make your guitar playing go from sounding a little bit amateur and a bit beginner, all the way to sounding like you are the sweetest, most lyrical singer in the world. And that is vibrato. So when you're first starting to learn guitar, you're often learning chords and you're learning songs, and vibrato doesn't always necessarily fall in to those areas of playing. But as soon as you want to get into lead guitar work, even if that's just playing along to a pretty simple riff in a rock song, all the way to if you're playing guitar solos and you're looking to build melodic ideas, then incorporating vibrato is definitely the fundamental thing that makes those lead guitar elements sound the way that they do. Now, vibrato comes in all different shapes and sizes, and every player has a very unique way of incorporating vibrato. It's definitely one of the things that identifies guitarists and gives them their own unique voice on the instrument. And because of that, I think it's a really important thing to think about. Vibrato shouldn't just be a throwaway thing. It's something that you should be actively working on. So vibrato, it can be fast, it can be slow, it can be somewhere in between, and you can also adapt it depending on the song that you're playing on. You've got people like B.B. King who have got a really fast vibrato. Then you've got people like Eric Clapton, whose vibrato is kind of really exaggerated. And really, it's just finding a sound that works well for you. There's no real right or wrong answer. So when we're talking about vibrato, there's ways that you can practice this by just literally choosing a note on any string, and more importantly on every string, so you can understand how it feels under your fingers. And what we're trying to aim for is a really consistent and smooth sound throughout the whole of that vibrato phrase. So let me give you an example. So there I've selected a few different notes and I've incorporated vibrato on my first finger and on my ring finger. Those are the 2 fingers that you'll be using to achieve vibrato, so it's important that you feel comfortable using both of them. And I mentioned about how you can adapt your vibrato depending on the song. Well, that is again something that helps you develop feel and touch on the guitar. So if it's a faster song, then you can get away with a faster vibrato, or if it's a slower and more mellow song with more sparse instrumentation, then a really fast vibrato can sometimes sound a little bit jarring, so you might want to slow it down a little bit. So rather than playing like this, you might want to slow it down. And the reason that this is important, and a reason why you should be practicing it, is because even by them playing the simplest lead line of just a couple of notes, you can sound like a real pro. And that's pretty much what we all want to get to, right? The second thing that I want to talk about, that again is a pitfall that some beginners and intermediate guitarists fall into, is the kind of notion of bending strings. And very much like vibrato, there's a load of different ways that you can bend a string on the guitar. But the most important thing of all is being precise when you're bending. And what I see quite often in beginners and when people are starting to learn lead guitar and playing riffs is that they're not paying too much attention to the pitch of the note that they're bending up to. And sometimes I believe it's because they don't often understand what a bend is trying to achieve on the guitar, Some people think it's a stylistic choice. However, the actual purpose of a bend is to get from one note to another in terms of pitch. So it's really important to be precise when you're doing kind of isolated bends on the guitar, because if you don't quite get that pitch right, it's going to make your guitar playing sound a little bit more amateur than it probably actually is. So being able to identify the pitch that you're bending to and being able to nail that every time is really important. So if we take this note here, which will be our 7th fret on our G string, if we want to do a whole tone bend, we want to be playing this note and we want to be bending up to this note, which is your 9th fret, which is 2 frets higher. So when you're practicing this, again, like with vibrato, practice it on every string and with basically every area of the actual fretboard, because the tension is what we want to try and get comfortable with, and that's the tension of the string on your specific guitar. Every guitar is subtly different, so it's important to get comfortable with this. But what you want to do is you want to pick a note, you want to understand the note that you're getting to, and then you just want to practice hitting it. So you're playing your original note, you're playing the note that you want to get to, and then you're doing the bend whilst that second note is fresh in your head. And then you can do it on your B string, so we'll go here, to here, and then we'll bend it. So those are my 2 pieces of advice today, the 2 things that I think will definitely elevate the sound of your lead guitar playing. So make sure to go away and have a practice of those, and leave a comment down below if you found this video helpful. I always want to do more things like this in terms of giving you little bits of information that have helped me over the years. So if there's any particular topics that you want me to cover, if there's any techniques that you want to know more about, then always leave them in the comments below and I'll try and get to them in a future video. As always guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one.